Hello, hello. We are on live. I'm going to be going over with my glam squad girlfriend, Chelsey Yadao. We both will be talking about the three components of growing your clientele. She is a lash technician, a very successful one, but also this will resonate for any beauty industry. So let me just get you added. Let's see here. One moment. Hello, 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 everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Let me just get this
Good, good,
adjusted here.
good.
How's everything
Awesome.
going?
Super good. Okay, I'm excited.
Me too. It is going to be good. This is going to be so fun.
Absolutely. So just for those of you who are tuning in right now, we're going to be going over the three components of growing your clientele in your beauty business, okay? So Chelsey, did you want to break down like a little bit about you really quickly?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm a lash artist primarily, but I am also a licensed esthetician. Here in Hawaii, you do have to hold a professional license to do lashes, thank goodness. We are really grateful for that here in my state. And we also, well, I've been in the industry for 6 years and I've worked in dermatology and lash studios. Hey, girl, thank you so much. And, we have a lot to share.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's great.
Yes, we do. We do have a lot to share. So just to kind of go over this, guys, we're going to be going over the big components of growing your beauty business, which is, your skill number one. Your skill set's really the truth foundations. If you don't have that on point, it's not ever really, you're never going to be able to build a strong business. Okay. The second is professionalism, which I'm seeing a lot now. A lot of us are struggling with, as well
Yeah.
as customer service and pre-booking. So let's get into it. So skill sets. Yeah.
Let me talk a little bit about skill sets. So when I'm teaching or discussing with a new lash artist what her foundational skills are, that's what I mean by skill set. You're always going to be working on something no matter how long you've been in the industry, whether you're a newbie artist or a seasoned lash artist. But there are about 5 different components and of foundational skills that I think it's important for all lash artists to always focus on. Your first one, especially if you're a new lash artist, is going to be isolation, right? Whether or not you can see those lashes, the little baby ones, the fine little baby ones in the last layer of the client's lash line. And with isolation comes positioning the client. And when I was just learning as a new lash artist, I even went and made sure I had the right prescription for my prescription on my contacts and glasses were updated, and whether or not I being able to see is so chest area.
Oops,
So
you're
that
kind
you
of going in
can
and out, Chelsey.
Oh, sorry. You're going to definitely want to position them in a way where you can see those lashes. The second component is attachment. Whether you are doing classic lashes or volume lashes, is the feed okay, Erica? Is it coming through okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're a little blurry, but I can hear you. I can hear you
Okay,
well.
sorry about that. So it's going to be attachment. So you're going to want to make sure that those fans, the bases are attached securely so that your clients can wear these lashes comfortably and also so that they can get the retention that they're seeking. The third component of your foundational skills is going to be your design. And that grows as you become more experienced and reach out to different mentors and have to design for different clientele. Your fourth is going to be, of course, your retention, which is one of the main key indicators of your skill. If your clients are reporting that their lashes are falling off in the first week, majority of them, or they're losing more than 3 to 5, it's definitely going to halt your progression and growing your clientele because they can't report to their friends and family, yeah, I only go see my lash artist once a week, right? So retention is another foundational skill. And then comfortability, whether or not your clients can wear their lashes comfortably and that it doesn't interfere with their lifestyle. I live in Hawaii. A lot of my clients surf, they go to the beach. They don't want something that is going to fall off as soon as they walk out of the ocean. It's exposed to sun and seawater. It needs to be comfortable for them. Okay. So those are the first 5 foundational skills that I would say is going to help you grow your clientele and have your community start talking about what you do.
Fantastic. Yeah. I think when it comes down to technique, and this is for any service-based beauty provider, even on the graphics end, technique is a big deal, right? So I found that it was a lot easier for me to book. It was a lot easier for people to choose me over my competition because my focus on versus with everything aside from everything that you can learn that to help increase things, this comes from a level of standard. If you
Absolutely.
have high standards, you're going to be fine. In fact, these things that maybe you're struggling with, one of these things that Chelsey just said, this you should actually be, if you have high standards, it should make you uncomfortable that you have not mastered those things. And you want to get that fixed right away. So the quickness of wanting to fix those things and not just thinking, no big deal, I don't care. That's what's going to allow you to raise your prices. That's what's going to allow you to be booked over somebody else who maybe doesn't have great standards. It comes from that foundation of standards. I don't know. Do you agree, Chelsey?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And you got to think about it as a long game, right? Growing your clientele, keeping them loyal to your brand and what you do and your style of lashes. It's going to be because you're constantly improving yourself and educating yourself and joining lives like these to learn more about how you can be a better artist.
Exactly. Yes. So always wanting to get better. A lot of people, they like to focus on getting better before they go. I actually don't even fully agree with that. Once you get, once you get certified, practice is always what's going to help, right?
Oh, 100%.
So, yeah. And then it's acting on those weaknesses. So it's saying, here's my standard. Here's what I want. Find the best lashes that you can find, or whether it's that, or it's microblading, or it's hair, or it's anything. You need to find a base, a person who essentially is doing it very well. And if yours don't look like that, you have to solve those problems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And lashing can be an isolated art, isolated service. So if you feel like you a lot of artists need to connect with someone, another more seasoned artist, to mentor them so that they can grow in these different categories and improve. So getting a mentor is key.
Mentorship, it's so funny because if I had been more open to mentorship earlier on in my business, like I would have gone so much farther, so much faster. Not that I didn't go fast, but like I think about all the things the mistakes I made and the things that I wasn't focusing on because in my head I was thinking, don't focus on that. What's the point? But that's what a second pair of eyes is for. Somebody who's been there and knows how to get you through it because they've gone through it. Something that is big to you is small to them. That's what you need, right?
Absolutely.
At all times, I think, in beauty. So moving on from that, which is really what I really want to talk about, which is professionalism. Which, to be honest, I don't care if you're the most great lash tech in the world, brow, facials, esthetician, I don't care what you are.
Right.
If you're not professional, you're going to always have problems, right?
Right. And I think you'd be surprised at how many components we as new lash artists, we think only skill sometimes. I know I was hyper focused on how my sets turned out, but if I didn't combine it with professionalism and later on what we're going to talk about, customer service, I wouldn't have the returning clientele that I've been able to build over the last 6 years. So, the first one we're going to talk about is attire. It sounds simple, but the way we present ourselves, unfortunately, we are judged. People judge us on what they see. So if you're presenting as this is a casual thing, you're going to be taken seriously in what as far as what you do, right? So would you agree with that, Erica?
Yeah. So, I think what you're saying, right, is if you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it's going to treat you like a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, you know, and this goes for not even beauty. I mean, this is everywhere right now, especially ever since
Yeah.
the pandemic came in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I see this at Chipotle, I see this at Sephora, I see this
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's that low quality of professionalism. It's
Right.
like an attitude. It's an attitude, and it actually seeps into customer service. I actually think they're both very similar. Um,
Yes.
because the truth is if your client's 10 minutes late, okay? I just saw this morning in a Lash group. The client was 10 minutes late. The girl didn't ask her where, she just said, "Oh, hey, you're 10 minutes late. Where are you at?" And no. First, she asked her on time, "Where are you at? It's time for your appointment." Then 10 minutes went by. The girl still wasn't there yet. She was like, "Okay, well, it's going to be, next time you book, I'm canceling the appointment. Next time you book, you're going to have to pay it all up front because this is my policies."
Exactly.
And the girl didn't respond until hours later. She said, "Okay, well, because of that, she was like, I was actually driving around trying to find your place, but because of that rude message, I went home." And it was so funny because
Yeah.
everybody in the group was all Lash techs, and they were all backing the girl up who sent the text saying, "Good on you." 4 hours later, she responds, "Yeah, right." The truth is she she probably was in the parking lot lost, and this crazy Lash tech made the assumption that she was just blowing her off, and then
Right.
the girl decided not to respond. But then 4 hours later, she got pissed. So she was
Right.
like, "You know what? I am going to respond and I'm going to tell you," right? She probably talked to her husband about it, talked to her friend, and her friend was like, "No, you
Sure.
tell her," right? And so it's so
As
funny
they
though.
should.
These Lash groups, these girls are just like, it's like a support group of, "Oh, you got it, girl." No, that is not
No.
okay. If
Right. And
your
we're, go ahead.
if your client is 10 minutes late, what if they got in a car accident?
Exactly.
Jesus. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree with you. And that's why we're even talking about this. So, getting back to attire, if at all possible, ladies, whatever you're doing, whether it's a brow service, try to wear a uniform. It can be as simple as a black top and a white pants, right? Oh, absolutely. Shade Skin,
yeah.
you. Thank you for that comment. We
It's
definitely,
crazy that people will
yeah,
pop off. That's you need to stay professional. When you get emotional, listen, there's a reason why people are afraid of having a woman in office. It's because
absolutely.
women, we get emotional. Take the emotion out of it. Like,
Right. It's
you
your
you don't
business.
know what happened to this person. It's been 10 minutes.
Exactly, exactly, 100%. And that leads us to our second point about professionalism. It's all about treating others with respect, and making sure that your interest is in the interest of clientele. It's business, you can't react with your emotions. You need to greet your clientele with a smile. You need to not complain about your day. This is their time, right? We're not here to diss our clients or gossip about the clientele. You need to make sure that you don't overshare about your life, that you do have personal boundaries in place, because as girls, we like to chat and make sure that we're, you know, getting all the tea from our clients since we haven't seen them in the last 2 weeks. But we have to always make sure that the undercurrent of what we're doing stays professional, right? And definitely not pop off on them. And under the banner of treating others with respect, they'll treat us with respect. And if we pop off at them, that's giving them permission to lose their crap on us. I was in a nail salon once, and I saw this client literally, because she didn't like the design that the artist put on her nails. She started throwing nail polish around the salon and destroying the lash studio, nail studio. So
I would lose my shit.
they called the cops. It was not appropriate at all. But when we approach calmly with logic and love to a degree, right, and respect, we're able to signal to our clients, I'm expecting that professionalism back from you. I'm expecting that same degree of respect from you, right? So It's definitely never acceptable to yell or swear at your clientele. And honestly, the person who keeps their cool is always the winner in any confrontation, right? So you always want to be winning for your business. And always remember that what our clients share within the treatment room is private and confidential. They want to know that they have the confidence to come in and this is their time, it's their space to be whatever they need to be so that when they go out into the world, they can present their best selves. Right?
You know what I think is good here is you teach on this a lot with our clients. It's taking off your I'm a lash tech hat or I'm a hairstylist hat and putting on the business owner hat. If you're two different people in your business, you're the business owner and you're the service provider, right?
Very common, very common.
Do you think that the business owner is going to be happy if the service-based provider is texting their clients like that?
That is definitely,
it's hurting the bottom line.
It hurts.
So you have to see things from both angles and not take the emotions and get defensive. That's the problem, is defensiveness is what is destroying the professionalism in the beauty industry. What I'm finding every day, you guys, all day long in these groups, I see these text messages. I'm like, who is teaching professionalism in the industry? It's like an industry problem.
It is.
You know,
100%.
It's a make sure they pay their deposit. If they don't pay, they pay 50. Like, yes, but it should never lead to that.
No,
it should never lead to that.
That policy is in place to set a standard to say, I need you to respect my time. It's a signal that you're asking your clientele to respect your time. I'm going to respect your time by being on time and ready to do the service you are. And it's also making sure that you're also a kind human being. Like, oh, you got COVID. Of course, I'm not going to charge you that. Or your son woke up with a fever this morning. Well, let's just reschedule you. And making the accommodations based on every situation. It's nice to have a policy in place, but make sure you're also, approaching it with your human instinct.
You can protect yourself and be human at the same time.
Oh, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely. You need to be. And that kind of leads us, into the humility aspect of professionalism. A lot of people don't really think about humility as a component of their professionalism or their business approach. But when you're humble, especially for people who work on their own, like what we call them solopreneurs or, self-employed lash artists who don't work under anyone else, you are the only person that your client can report issues to. So if you don't approach it in a humble way, your clients are going to ghost you. They're not going to come back. They're not going to be loyal. They're going to talk all kinds of crap behind your back. When you know all things that I know about everything, right? You approach a problem with pride and defensiveness. You are telling your client that I'm not here to solve your problem. I'm here to just do lashes and bye, girl. Right? This is McDonald's. You get the hamburger, you leave. Right? That's not what we want. We don't want to build businesses like that. Right? We want to make sure that they feel like they can come to us with their problems, whether it be design problems, attachment problems, retention problems. What you're doing when you're solving those problems for your client and working with them is you're building trust and loyalty, and you're showing them that you're on their side and you folks have a common goal, which is a great lash set that lasts, right?
Yes.
Nobody wants to just pay hundreds of dollars.
And we have to remember this, right? That it's us, it's the lash, it's them getting lashes from you, or it's them going and buying strips. And if they know that they're gonna have less anxiety to go hop into Ulta and grab some mink lashes, why would they even bother, right? So that's ultimately, you have to remember that you have to be a likable person. It's being likable.
It's being likable, and it's also being willing to acknowledge your mistakes and accept constructive criticism from your client. Not abuse, but constructive criticism. Or you can even see it as basically what they're experiencing with your lash set, right? And are they comfortable? Like we said, are they falling off? You recognize that you're human, you're fallible, and you're willing to work with your client and show that humility. And you can do this even by when they're not having problems with their lashes. encourage them to share their thoughts and experiences so that you know what's going on in your business and with your clientele. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is. It's seeing yourself in, and this is why mentorship is so important, is because
For sure.
when you're able to see yourself out of somebody else's lenses, that's when you wake up a bit. I think what happens is, as beauty pros, we try and link up with a whole bunch of other beauty pros, and then we think, okay, what I say, it's so funny, graphic designers do this too. We have our little groups where we talk about our clients, and we'll say, oh, this person was saying this, or they said make it pop. Make it pop's like the big #1 thing we make fun of. So, but if my client says that, is it going to trigger me into saying you need to be more specific and blah blah blah, blah? No. What I do is I focus on introspection. I say, what is wrong about my onboarding? What is wrong about my policies and my things that are making them say that? Why are they not being more specific? So I actually had to change up my whole routine to help them reach what they wanted to say better. It's the same goes here with it's professionalism. It's knowing your clients better than they know themselves, and respecting them, so that they're not just a number, they're not just a fill, they're not just a full set. They are people, right? Yeah.
And that goes down to, adage that we want to treat our clientele the way we want to be treated. If I were getting lashes done, what experience would I want to have? And that leads right into our next topic about your treatment area being professional.
Yes.
Is it clean and clutter free? If you're working out of your home, are you aware if your clients have allergies? Are you disinfecting after, even just, do you know your Department of Health and OSHA guidelines for the services you provide? Even if you're in a state like Missouri, I think, where you don't need to have a professional license to do lashes. I know that's how it is in Maryland as well. You really need to make sure that you are aware of what the guidelines are in your state, so that, if, for heaven forbid, you get a complaint and they report you, your business is not in jeopardy, right? So is your treatment area cool and comfortable? Do your clients prefer soft bedding to make it's an sensory experience because their eyes are closed. So when your eyes are closed, if you don't fall asleep, you hear more, you smell more, all of your other senses are heightened, right? So that even goes down to your person. Do you smell like your lunch, right? We eat a lot of ethnic foods that are fermented here in Hawaii, like kimchi. I'm sure many people have heard of it. If I'm choosing to have kimchi, I better make sure I brush my teeth and, done a body spray. Is your client allergic to body spray and sensitive to smells? Your treatment area all has to, reflect also your brand. And that's so important. One of our coaches talking about that, and how, she is so appreciative that we've been able to encourage her to be more professional and go through these steps, and be with her every step of the way during that time. Do you have anything to say about that?
I was going to say, what I was going to say is, it's actually, now working with Lash Techs for quite some time, I've really learned that a lot of this stuff, it's just not out there as just like information that's out there, right? And these lash classes that everybody's doing is not giving all the information that you need, because there's so much, there is so much up and down when it comes to standards, so ultimately this is you own your own business, but you kind of don't, in a way, okay? As a beauty pro, because the truth is you have to wear a lot of hats, but it's not as simple as if this is a product-based business. Product-based versus service-based is a completely different beast. So it's actually a lot easier for you to succeed in service-based, but it really sits on you as a person. So again, going back to the skill sets, the professionalism, the customer service, all of that. If one of those things is missing, which is what we find when we start working with Lash Techs, there's always one of those things, aspects that is typically missing, right?
If their
And
complaint is that they're not growing. If
right.
you're finding your books aren't booked out, it's one of these three components that you're missing.
And because the truth is, you know, and I hate saying it, but it's true. When it comes to beauty, you're in such a lucrative industry that it's really not that hard to book out if you have all these
Sure.
components. It's not a big feat, right? Building a huge, you know, a huge coaching program with hundreds of clients a month, like some people do, that's a big goal, right? That's like a whoa. We don't even know yet, like how that happens, right? We've got to like really build something out. With beauty, it's you if you're friendly, if you you know, if you do a good job and you respect your clients, you're gonna do well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so if you're not booking out and you're struggling, and it's not a choice to make less money, I know some girls, they prefer to just work part-time. We're not talking about that. We're talking about those who want to do this full-time. It's one of those issues.
And I'm really glad you brought up, you know, what might be lacking. If you were in a 2-day course and it wasn't the best experience, you definitely didn't get to delve into the subtle nuances of professionalism and customer service and even skill. You were taught the basics, and you know, there's a place for that in our industry. But in my mind, a mentorship is the way to go when you're trying to, because lashing is a service, and even tattooing, it's a service that you do by yourself, and you don't have somebody over the shoulder once you're done with that certification saying, you know, oh, actually your hands should be positioned this way. Move your body to the right when you're trying to get in corners of that client's eye. You know, all these subtle things that a seasoned, experienced mentor is there to guide you through. So mentorship is the way I think our industry should be going, and hope, you know, we try to provide that with our coaching program, and we're seeing girls succeed really in what they want to do. And I think that all of these components are what help you grow and stay engaged with your clientele. So along with your treatment area being clean and clutter free, it needs to be organized. You need to make sure that your schedule isn't double booked, that you're not running late. If you find yourself running late all the time, it's because you're not setting enough time, a realistic time frame for what you're providing. So if it's a fill, if it's a full set, if you're, you know, outside of components outside of your control, like your client being late or sick or, you know, that isn't going to dictate your time. I mean, it will, but it's not your service. You know, you need to really be able to identify how long it takes you to do your services and organize your schedule, you know, adequately. And then you also have to have your communication with your client streamlined. So being organized shows that you're professional. You know, setting boundaries. I only text my clientele from this time to this time every day, because you have to protect yourself too, right? That's part of self-care.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. You can also, and if that's a struggle, there's ways around it. You know, you don't necessarily have to text them. I mean, there's other forms of communication. You can schedule things out, you know, emailing, let them know that you email, and then you can schedule out that email. I think that, you know, when it comes down to all of that, it's the same across the board. So this is something that even like with service-based, you know, anything that involves deliverables, if you're a day late, you know, this is where you start losing trust from the person. So if you're naturally late because you get your Starbucks, and that's just kind of who you are, you've said, I am the late person, right? Maybe your clients even put up with it. It doesn't mean that, you know, let's say your clients are putting up with it. You're like, oh, it's fine. I tell them and they love me. Well, are they recommending you to anybody though?
Right.
Right.
Are you seeing it in your growth metrics? Are you even tracking your growth metrics?
So I was going to actually talk about growth metrics for a second, because, well, not even just that, but actual metrics that help you figure out, like, are you on point for getting referrals? Okay, now it's harder when it's just you. If you have a team of people, it's really easy to get surveys because somebody knows that it's not about you, it's not personal. It's a bit harder when it's just you and you're getting feedback, right?
Yeah.
So, but typically what companies do to track like referral rates is they will have somebody fill their customers fill out a free survey asking them, and I'm sure you've gotten this too. They ask them like a few questions, but out of them, the two questions that matter are, one, is this something that you would most likely recommend to a colleague? And then two, would you book this service again, or would you do this again? So
Yep.
if it's a no across the board, your points are going to be very low, and that's why you're not getting referrals. But however, I do recognize this is a little hard to put in your little studio if it's just you, because you know that they're answering it, right?
Yeah.
So you could even, so that being said, if you don't feel comfortable like getting feedback from clients, what I would do then maybe is like do an audit. So look at your communication style, like look at the last 10 clients you booked and how you talk to them, including the rude ones. I don't care how justified you feel. I want you to think about if the person who was texting was your employee you were paying a salary to.
Right.
Would you be keeping that employee?
Right. Absolutely. You have to have that mindset, and make sure that, you're tracking these things and the experience your clientele is having, because that's going to tell you everything, and I've seen it where they'll take a bunch of pieces of paper, fold them up and put them in a bowl, and then they'll let the client have the room for a second to fill out their survey, anonymous survey, and fold it up and put it in the bowl. So the client is more likely to respond honestly, knowing that their information is anonymous. So
That's great too. I've thought about
one way you
that.
can do that.
So
Yeah.
if you have enough clients where you feel like and you can even start like a couple papers in there so it looks
Sure.
full.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
You know, and
Absolutely.
then the person is able to leave a response. But another thing I was thinking about too was you can send out like a generic email after the service is booked asking for, say, an anonymous, it'll be answered anonymously, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And at that point, the big businesses do it, your small business has to do it. You've got to get feedback
Absolutely.
on your professionalism.
Yes.
Otherwise, you just don't
You're
know,
flying
right?
blind. You're flying blind without any
Otherwise,
feedback.
you do need to talk to a person like me or Chelsey and say, what do you think? Here's what I do. Here's what I say. Here's text messages I've sent. And
Yeah, mentorship.
that's when you're going to get that type of feedback that you want. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to talk about pre-booking really quick?
Yeah, I want to talk about pre-booking really quick and just touch on, your reliability, making sure that your schedule's on time, you're responding to questions and texts, in an appropriate manner, usually within 24 hours or whatever adequate hour frame that you feel, and then produce a consistent quality of work. Your clients are, your service is reliable. They know their lashes will last, and they know that you will respect their time and all of that stuff. So I think we covered everything in professionalism. Pre-booking is a component of customer service, and we can lead with that. Absolutely. You always need to pre-book your client's next appointment, unless they're in an industry where their shift work hasn't come out, their schedule. I lash a lot of flight attendants who fly and they have unpredictable schedules. So, but even them, I can kind of anticipate when they're going to need a fill. So I keep certain slots open for them in advance so that they feel like they're a valued client of mine, right? So one way to introduce this is as you're finishing your set, and once they see it, they're like, oh my God, I love it. That's when you're like, let's get your next appointment booked. I do fill up quickly. Right now, my books are booked out, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. For me, it's months, so you have to be honest, but also, you want to create this sense of like, I value your time and I want you to get the best spot for your schedule. And I don't want you to miss a fill, because then you'll have holes in your lashes and you're going to be sad. It's hard, So by doing this, you're actually creating more value for your service and showing your client that you value them, that they're a VIP almost, right? That you want to make sure that they get in before their spot gets taken. And then go ahead and let them pre-book as much as they want to, so that they are able to even feel better and more confident. People who pre-book are, I think the figure is like 75%, will keep their appointment. They won't, if it's pre-scheduled, they won't cancel it.
I prefer pre-scheduling with everybody because I'll forget. So
No,
I do it with everybody.
absolutely.
I'll tell my brow girl, just book me. Like, I don't know, whenever I need it, because otherwise I will forget, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what happened to me?
Right. And especially with even brow waxing. Hi, Kita. So making sure that when you're pre-booking, you're letting them know that you value your time, and also that, for waxing brows, your hair growth you can put it on a schedule. And every 3 weeks that, that design of your brow needs to be updated and cleaned up. So I'm really glad you said that, because I'm the same way. And then making sure that they know that, you're invested in them, and that you'd be very happy to take care of their family and friends. You appreciate any referrals. Pre-booking can lead right into a conversation about your referral discount. If you refer 2 clients and they book with me, you get 10% off your next fill or service. I've given away full free fills because I have this one client who, she's just excellent at referring people who come and become my clientele. So it's worth it in the long run, because you're applying your business, you're getting exposed to more people, and you make up the money you're giving away very quickly. So that's a great way to lead us into
all those types of deals are great. And the pre-booking thing, like you said, I think the thing that you really hammered was if it's in the best interest of the client and you can explain that, there's no reason why they wouldn't. There's no reason why I wouldn't pay you another deposit today.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to give you their money. They want to be connected with you. And that's where customer service, I like to substitute the term customer service with the term connection. What you're doing every time you're consistent, or, you set clear boundaries of mutual respect, or a client can trust you, they're getting more and more connected to you. And the more connected to you are, the more loyal they're going to be. And I have clients who've been with me for almost 4 years. My mentor had clients who were with her for 10 years, and you're building long relationships. So customer service is connection, and it's about really getting to know who's lying down in front of you. Do you have, and this is across the board, no matter what service you provide, for lashes, is your client a sleeper? Are they coming to this lash appointment to decompress and just take a nap? Great, perfect. I'll provide that space for you. Are they a talker? Do they need to vent? Even something as simple as identifying what type of client you have can, be a strong foundational connection to them. Be consistent by adhering to your personal boundaries so that they know what to expect. Do you take emergent, non-emergent, and personal phone calls and texts while you're lashing, like you said? Are you disengaged? It's a sign that you're disengaged with the client, right? That you have disconnected from what you're doing and their experience, and you're focused on something else. If it's not emergent, please don't touch your phone. Also, your phone's dirty unless you're wiping it down.
You know what's so funny? There's an ability to control, but control without using emotion. So I see a lot of lash techs complain about, oh, this girl was picking at her lashes the whole time. She was talking. She wore her contacts. She did this. And then they'll say, well, it says in my policies. Listen, nobody's reading your policies. Okay. They're showing up. They're excited. They know that they're going to look better. That's all they really
Right.
care about. You know, before really assess the situation before. Just mention a quick reminder, just so you know, with the policies, just, and these are things that are going to help you because you're spending a lot of money to, you know, have this look or have this result. Just try and avoid, you know, if you have your contacts, take them out. Try and avoid picking at your lashes.
Absolutely.
I
Re-educate.
love talking to you, just, but if your eyes are moving, I'm going to let you know because I don't want your lashes to fall off, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of
Mm-hmm.
those types of things. It's communication during the experience and saying it in a nice way, not being authoritative because that's insane. You know, which I see it's so common now, and I don't understand. Like, you're dealing with women. Women don't want to be told what to do. Women, that's their
No.
luxury time. That's their spa time, for Christ's
Yeah.
sakes. So, you know, so you're making it by being an authority to your clients, you're making it more work for them, and it's exhausting for them to deal with you. So if you can
Absolutely.
find a way to, if you're seeing something going on with the client, somebody was saying, I need to fire this, I saw this, I need to fire this client. She like, you know, she takes advantage the whole time she talks, and then she starts putting her makeup on after. She'll come on with makeup. She doesn't listen to me. It's like, doesn't sound like you're controlling your client too well. Doesn't sound like you're able to control the situation too well. Because if I would have seen makeup, I would have said, oh, look, I have complimentary makeup wipes. Here you go.
Right.
Right?
Right.
How many times at the doctor, you know, are you totally not set up, but they're like, you know what, we're prepared. Go ahead and do this really quick, or whatever. You also should be prepared. Keep
Absolutely.
if there's makeup that like if there's been a bad habit of bringing makeup and you're like, well, I'm just not going to search. No. Don't take money out of your own pocket. Go to the
Right.
store and buy some makeup wipes and
Right.
have them for emergency. Right?
Give them a
It's these little things
sample
that,
like
yeah,
kit.
it's
You're
these
right.
little things that these girls, that beauty girls, are not incorporating into their SOPs,
Business.
the possibility of things. But by you not, you know, like if somebody comes in with mascara, okay, like, don't tell
Yeah,
them
life
you came
happens.
on with mascara,
Right.
you know, like,
Right. Yeah,
just,
you're never in a position to scold the clients. You know,
no. But it
life
happens so
happens.
often. It
I
happens
know.
so often.
I definitely see that.
It drives me nuts.
Um, I
Yeah.
Right, and that's why we are doing this. That's why we're here live and talking to the audiences that want to make their businesses better, that want to grow their clientele, that want to keep their clientele. You know, people talk because as soon as they get their lashes done, their family, friends, their environment, people in their community, oh, you got your lashes done. And it just is a whole opener. They'll talk about their experience, they'll talk about their environment, they talk about, you know, how long their lashes last. I can't tell you how many times I have one client who can go like 5 weeks without getting a fill. And she constantly gets compliments on her lashes. And she's like, oh, I'm ready for a fill already. And that's why she's been such a good source of referrals for me because she wants to talk about the good experience she's had. She wants to talk about not having, you know, that we connect, and that's why if you can make the experience as easy for them as possible with providing wipes, or you know, just re-educating your client because they're not reading your policies or they don't remember, you know, it's a relationship, right? It's
It
a
is a
relationship.
relationship. It is. And,
Yeah.
you know, again, just because you're getting clients doesn't mean that you're good at what you do.
Right.
I even have people that I go get services from that I'll put up with the stuff because I'm tough, but I would never recommend somebody. So that person may be
Exactly.
thinking what they're doing is fine, but it's just because I choose to
Not to
value the
say
service
something.
over the experience. But I would never tell my friends, go to this person,
Right,
because
right.
I can't trust that they're going to do a good job.
Right.
Right?
And that's exactly right. We don't want to lose our relationships because by recommending someone who is disengaged. And I can't hammer that home enough. You know, when you're disengaged, it means that I, even down to Uber driving, and who I think so many people can, you know, once they find a good service provider, they want to follow them wherever they go. My mom has followed like her nail person 5 different salons because she talks to her and she cares about her and also provides a good service, right? So it crosses all industries or modalities of the beauty service. So I guess the last
The
3
talking
things,
is important. The
yeah,
talking is
absolutely.
important.
And
Yeah.
that a big component of that is being honest, right? So honesty, being honest with your client about where you are in your progression as a lash artist, um, will build that trust again. It'll show that you're an honest person who has integrity. So if someone who likes to wear stacked strip lashes and they, are very prominent, I am not going to be able to design a successful lash service for them because I know my type of lashes that I design and provide, and it's for a different demographic. It's for people who prefer something more professional and understated. So I'm going to be very honest with someone who comes to me and says, "Can you do my lashes?" And then we talk and consult about what they want. But I already see that they're wearing these stacked, strips. I know I'm already not a good fit. And I'll say, I'm not a good fit for you. I don't think I'm a good fit for you, but let me give you a recommendation for someone who is in the industry. She designs these kinds of lashes. You can, and then they value that. They're like, "Oh, well, thanks." Or even if you're a new artist who's like just starting your skills and somebody comes to you and asks you like, "Oh, well, do you do Russian volume, but you only are learning classics?" No, let me give you a referral, or I provide beautiful classic lash sets. I hope to be training in volume one day. Would you like to sign up for my model class? Right? There's always an opportunity to stay connected to clients by being honest and having integrity in what you do. And more
That's
likely,
smart.
in times when I have been working on a skill and am offering like a model fee or a discount, say for, microblading or powder ombre brows, I'll say, "This is where I'm at. This is how many clients I've done. This is my work." Show them pictures. However, I understand not everybody wants to work with somebody who is, learning the skill still, or has not as many clients in their book for that skill. Here's a referral. And lots of times they're like, "Oh no, it's fine." They want to pay less and they recognize that everybody has to learn. And there's a lot of people who don't want that. But if you start with that instead of somebody coming to you and being like, "I want this," and showing you the Instagram and it doesn't match their eyes and it's the completely wrong design for them, don't just say, "Okay, I could do that," because then you put so much stress upon yourself. You can't control the outcome of what's going to happen after they wake up, because this has happened to me. When I was newer, I just said that. She showed me a picture and she showed me what she normally looks like. And I was stressing the whole time. It took me longer. And she wasn't happy with what it was because it was unrealistic to begin with. Right? So if you can head off those complications by being honest and moving forward through your business with integrity, you can avoid a lot of issues. Right?
Yes. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then I guess, last couple of things I want to talk about is mindset. There is more than enough clients to go around. Having an abundance mindset helps you know and believe in your skills, that
Yes.
even if you're not the right person for client A, there's client B through Z that you are probably right for. And then you're presenting your confidence to the client, and then they're more likely to stay with you and work with you as you're moving through your skills.
Can I say
If
something
you're
here?
newer, absolutely.
If this is something that you don't maximize or you don't even know how to figure this out, this is a clear sign of lack of a branding foundation. Branding, a lot of people think of it as, "Oh, it's my logo. Oh, it's my picture of myself. I turn into a cartoon." No, 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 no. That's not branding. It's the visual side, but that's the last step of branding. Branding actually starts with your target market, you understanding, you know, what that target market's problem is, and then being able to be a key, using your key differentiators, actually saying, you know what, this is what's lacking in the market, so this is what I'm going to focus on. So just like you know, Chelsey said, Chelsey knows her clientele so well. She knows that the majority of her clientele is going to order classic. They're gonna book classic. They're not going to book mega volume blah 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 with 5 colors, right? So, but there are cities, there are locations and stuff where that is very big. So if you know your person so well that you know what they're struggling with, or they have problems, or so with beauty, it's either somebody has a problem that they're running away from, they're trying to solve, or they're trying to move towards something. So they want to look better, they want to improve, or they want to fix. That's 2 things. So if you're improving, because here's the thing, with lash techs and a lot of beauty people, they think that the solution they're providing is confidence. You're not providing confidence. You're not. Confidence is a mindset issue that your client's dealing with, and your little thing, you know, getting lashes, that's one thing, that's one sliver of their confidence issues. So what you can focus on is you can focus on making that one sliver your key differentiator. They know that on the list of things that make them feel insecure, you're the, you know, one of the steps towards being secure. So you're not really connecting with anybody by saying, oh, make people feel confident. It's just, no, there's no connection there. You need something specific. So in the case of Hawaii, maybe we're focusing on the fact that her lashes last even through the humidity, right? And they still look professional. That with Hawaii, it's a natural look. The girls love it because they have naturally beautiful skin. The you know, everybody goes and they've just got that vacation look that everybody wants, and so they just need classic. They don't need to look big and blah blah boom, right? So so definitely that's the look. But she knows that. If you didn't know that, and then your problem was, Erica, why aren't they selling a whole bunch of mega volumes? That tells me that you haven't done your target market research. You don't know your people, but you know your people, right?
Absolutely. And that is a huge part that we didn't even talk about, you know, about marketing, branding, and really utilizing your social media platforms to show your clientele what you do know, you know, what you do specialize in, and what makes you different, and you know, identifying what your market is. So I think that that's definitely a topic for another live that we will do.
Absolutely.
You know, and making sure that your mindset is one of abundance, because oftentimes when we're scrolling through social media, we're like, well, what makes me different than this other girl who's prettier, or whatever, you know, negative internal conversations you're having with yourself. What makes my lashes better, or what your insecurities come out when you're just scrolling through maybe other artist things on Instagram. But if you have a mindset of abundance, you're going to be like, that's great. She's going to be able to provide lashes for someone else. And my people will be attracted to what I do.
Exactly.
And it takes that pressure off of yourself, and that fear that stops you from achieving what you want in your business. It stops you from growing. Maybe you're a lash artist who is tired of working. You're making good money, but you're drained by the end of the day after 5 to 7 clients, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, right? And now you want to move into education, or maybe you want to write an ebook, or, you know, you're in a transition period. Having an abundance mindset takes the fear out of that progress, because nobody expects you to get into lashing and just stay there. You don't have to. You know, you have to recognize where you're at in your life and have the optimistic mindset to move into what you want, and have a clear vision of what you want, and then get the proper mentorship and coaching to achieve that. Right? So
Absolutely.
I absolutely see that in our our girls that we coach. You know, they run into different obstacles, and always a component of coming those obstacles there. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And I think in conclusion, as we wrap this live up, you know,
absolutely, yes,
growing your clientele isn't a coincidence. It's a formula, right? And when you follow the formula that we laid out on this live, we can guarantee that your clients will have the best experience to match the incredible lash service you do, and then they'll send their friends and family your way. And isn't that what you want?
Exactly. And when you're at that point, you know, on top of, well, it's you know that you have a chance on being booked out. As far as building a clientele and that foundational side that I keep hitting, that requires strategies, right? Which is what a lot of us need to equip ourselves with heading into the times that we're heading into with high inflation, and everybody's talking about pandemic or the recession or depression or whatever it's going to be. We don't know. Nobody knows, right? All you can do is prepare. So, and if you take any advice, you know, during this time, it's not listening to the chatter of all the other beauty pros saying they're slow and then you just assuming that's just what it is. You actually need to be proactive. And we've talked a lot today about being proactive versus reactive in your business. It's the same thing externally. So if you are not actively seeking out clients on a daily basis, you know, it's right now, it's just not enough to focus on that natural traffic. You need strategies too. So that's also too as well what Chelsey and I help with. For those of you, if you're interested, we have applications in our link trees. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach out to Chelsey or I. We would love to chat with you more on what you're struggling with as a beauty pro. It's truthfully, I just want you to know, if you're struggling with booking out, it's one of these components, and it's probably not something that you can recognize yourself. So it's very important to get that second opinion. And it's not going to be from your peers. Your peers are your supporters, right? Like I said, in those Facebook groups, that's not where
they'll fight for you.
Be. Yep, they will fight for you. They will not tell you you're screwing up, right?
Yeah.
So that's where a mentor comes in, or somebody to give you actual, real, honest feedback. Yeah. So we'll get this closed out. I know we've been here for an hour. Anything else you wanted to say, Chelsey?
I just want to say, wherever you are in your beauty industry modality journey, whether you're a lash tech or a brow, you know, cosmetic tattoo artist, you do nails, you can benefit from being professional, making sure that you know, are connected to your client through customer service practices, and always growing your skill. And then it'll come naturally. And if you do have any questions, we're here to support this community. Absolutely. I love talking to newer lash artists and seasoned lash artists because I still need support too. And I just love having this community available. So thank you for this time, Erica. I look forward to our next live.
We'll be seeing you on our next one. Okay, everybody. Well, we'll have a great rest of your day and have a good weekend.
Aloha. See you later. Bye-bye.